Hello students, today I am going to discuss a little about social security. I am going to give you a slideshow presentation, go through it, and this is going to help you a lot in your exams. Let us start with what is social security. Social security is a dynamic concept which is actually considered in all advanced countries as an indispensable part of their national program. It is considered to be the most essential for the industrial workers actually, but however it includes all sections of the society. Now what is social security? It is the protection which is given by the society to its members against so many risks which we face in modern life, such as sickness, unemployment, old age, invalidity, and at certain times the workers have to face various industrial accidents. At that time, certain protection is given. What is the basic purpose of social security? The basic purpose of social security is to protect those people who have very low income, and because of those risks it impairs a person's ability to support himself and his family. At that time the social security measures are given, and these security measures are generally specified or given by law. Now let's move on to the objectives, but before telling you the objectives of social security, I'll be telling you the evolution. From where does this term of social security originated? The term social security actually originated in USA. In 1935, this Social Security Act was passed there to administer the scheme of unemployment, sickness and old age insurance. And after 3 years, that is in 1938, it was adopted by second country, New Zealand. So for the first time, New Zealand created a comprehensive social security system for all citizens. Later on, various countries adopted this term, but however its form and the meaning was different in different countries. Now let us move on to the objectives. Basically, social security measures, they aims at three things. What are these three things? Let's see. One is compensation, another is restoration, and third is prevention. Compensation, as the word indicates, it offers economic help when the worker is in a state of physical distress because of certain reasons like accidents, sickness, invalidity, or he is suffering from various diseases and old age. Second is the restoration. It allows or it enables the workers to recover from the various shocks which is actually injected by the inhuman conditions prevailing in the organization. So from those shocks, this kind of social security rehabilitate himself and try to restore him in a normal fashion. Now third is the prevention. It also gives monetary help to workers so that they can get rid of these things, the illness like sickness, idleness, diseases, etc. Next, we come to the types of social security benefits. So in India, the benefits are given in two major ways. Let's see what are those. One is social insurance and another is social assistance. But let me first explain what is social insurance or what is the basic difference between social insurance and social assistance. Now in social insurance, one fund is created and contribution is made from both sides, that is workers and employers. And then later on the benefits are given to the employers. It may be in cash or in kind. And the subsidy from the government, there may be subsidy from the government, there may not be subsidy from the government. The main purpose of this fund is to provide a minimum standard of living to these beneficiaries. And during which period? During the period of partial or total loss of income. Sometimes they have a partial loss of income or sometimes they may face total loss of income. Some of the examples of this type may be PF like Provident Fund or group insurance, etc. Now let us move on to social assistance. What is the basic difference between social assistance and social insurance? This one is non-contributory in nature. What does it mean? That means no contribution is made from either the employer or the employees. So who gives this? The benefits are offered to persons who have very small income from the government side out of its general revenues. So all the benefits are given from the side of the state. Now, as I said you that social assistance is non-contributory in nature. Now, social security in India, after studying so many laws, let us study what are the different kind of laws which have been enacted in India. So, these are the laws which I will be giving you in very brief. So, let's first see the Workmen's Compensation Act. This Workmen's Compensation Act was passed in 1923, and this act actually marked the beginning of social security system in India. Now, what is the main object of this act? The main object of this act is to impose upon the employers an obligation to pay compensation for for accidents which may arise out of and in the course of employment. That means the reason should be completely related to employment. In no way it can be a personal reason. The amount of compensation will definitely depend upon the nature of injury and their monthly wages. Now let's move on to the Employee State Insurance Act. This was passed in 1948 to provide medical benefits and unemployment insurance to the workers. Now, and this scheme provides 5 types of benefits. One is sickness benefit, then maternity benefit, disablement benefit, dependent benefit and medical benefits. Now, third one is Employees Provident Fund. Now, Employees Provident Fund, this act was passed in 1952 and this is applicable to those organizations in which 20 or more people are working. Now, this act actually provides for the 3 types of benefits. One is Provident Fund scheme, pension scheme and insurance scheme. Under Provident Fund scheme, contribution will be made from the employees side and the same contribution will be made from the employer's side, and an employee will be able to get his contribution at any period of time. That means he can obtain advances also for various purposes like for construction of houses, higher education of children, marriage of children, etc. And in second is the pension scheme. In pension scheme, pension will be paid to the widow or children of the employee who dies while in service, and also it is paid to him after his retirement. Next is insurance scheme. In insurance scheme, the person is entitled to receive his accumulations. It will be paid an additional amount equal to average balance in the Provident Fund account. Now let us move to the Maternity Benefit Act 1961. As the word indicates, this is given to the insured women workers. Now this act was passed to regulate the employment of women, and this benefit is given before and after childbirth, that is prenatal and postnatal period. And this kind of benefit is also given in case of miscarriage, premature birth or illness which arises out of pregnancy. Now last but not the least, we move on to the Payment of Gratuity Act. Now the important point in Gratuity Act is that one condition is required here, that is the employee must complete 5 years of continuous service with the same employer. And how he is paid? For every completed years, his half month's wage will be deducted and that will be made one fund, and after that he will be given this gratuity, and sometimes it is subject to certain other conditions also. So maybe you might have got a glimpse of the different acts I have given in very brief. Now let's move on to the drawbacks. After studying so many acts, we came to certain drawbacks of the social security system in India. Firstly, it covers only the workers in organized sector. It doesn't cover those workers who are working in unorganized sector. Now, firstly, you understand what is unorganized sector. Unorganized sector are the sector where the labor law coverage is not there. Occupational is very much seasonal and temporary. Then labors are casual, bargaining power is very low, and these kind of workers really need this kind of security. Second is planning and execution both are important in any scheme. For planning part is okay, many laws have been enacted, but when it comes to implementation, these are the difficulties. There is lack of fund, facilities is not up to date, there is lack of trained staff who can implement the schemes. Then there is overlapping of schemes. Many laws provide for same kinds of benefits. There lies the confusion both on the sides of the employees and the employer to understand this. And there is a burden on the employer side because mostly the contributions have to be made by the employers. And various weaknesses lies in several schemes, and whenever it comes to the benefits, then beneficiaries have to face a lot of trouble and inconvenience. Now I come to the end of the presentation. Thank you students. Hope this video is going to help you.